Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Super stoked for this video. I'm up here at my buddy Mr. Peter Willie's house. We're checking out one of his big block Mopars that he runs in the super shifter class. This thing's been in his 71 4-speed CUDA. That thing's an absolute beast. You can check it out on Bangship. They got some great videos of Peter rolling the gears in it. Absolutely amazing. But we're gonna check out a dyno shoot of this big block Mopar. This is the same dyno that we used to do my 530 horsepower 360 motor. If you haven't checked that video out, check that one out. But we're up here at Mr. Peter Willie's house checking out some big block Mopar action. So if you are new to the channel, subscribe, check out some of the old stuff, and like this video, share it, and hopefully we can come back up here because this guy's got all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, you think you're a Mopar nut? No. This guy's a Mopar nut. Let's just take a little walk through here. So these are all some of his personal engines. He's got a Hellcat there. There's a Ray Barton Hemi. I'm trying to trick him into letting us sit in on a dyno session of this thing. It screams to like 9,000 RPM. Coming through here. Got some small block trick flow head 408 stroker on EFI. Pretty cool. I don't think we've seen one of those yet. I think it made 605 horsepower. Even does some AMC stuff. Then you get over here, this is where that big block lives, in this gorgeous 71 CUDA. And then this CUDA here is a Hemi car. And Pete, what do you run this guy here in?
That's a Ray Barton super stock. Should be in the 1,000 horsepower proximity. We'll get it on the dyno and verify it, and hopefully be out after COVID's behind us and start campaigning Hemi shootouts.
Hell yeah, boys. There's that 71 CUDA. What do we do with this guy, Pete?
Well, this is a car that can swing both ways. We'll run it either in super stock D or possibly even C with a Hemi. Or alternatively, we run it in a super shifter with the bracket 440 that we're about to dyno right now. The car weighs 3,400 pounds. We've gone as quick as 858 with it with our old setup. The new setup is very similar, just a few tweaks, and we should be living comfortably in the 850s. Targeting 960 plus. We'll see what the dyno reveals today.
You guys ready for this? So we already got some heat into the motor, so we're ready to start making our first couple pulls here. He's actually got two carbs we're going to try today. We're going to start off, what's that Dominator there, Pete?
That's a 1350, and we've got a bigger guy that we're going to put on.
You got
it once more.
You got a bigger than 1350 to put on this?
You bet. That's the next. That's the next step.
Okay, we're all ready. We're gonna fire it up. First hit. What kind of dyno you running here, Pete?
Land and C.
First hit right there, 6,700 RPM, just under 970 horsepower. Where's that peak torque at? Looking up here, 826, 827.
Call it 828.
Call it 828 at 5,400. 700 RPM. Does it always highlight
your
your
peak? I pull out of it pretty. I got the dyno set at 74, but I mean I can pretty well tell when it's rolling over. And typically, if you look at this, you can see it. Well, maybe I was a hair short on it, so we'll make another one.
There we go.
We'll just do one more quick back-to-backer, and that'll give us a real good baseline with this carb, nice and warm, and then we'll go to the other carb.
So test 2 there, 6,700 RPM. We're making 982, and then our torque is up even more now. 835 at 54. This thing is just screaming on there. So we got 2 pulls in her so far. We're gonna do one more with this carb before we switch over to that big one. Highest we've seen now, we've seen 983. Pete, you think we'll get a little bit more out of this next one as it gets warmer?
We'll find out soon.
Let's go. I saw 990.
And 846.1.
990 at 67 again, and then where's our peak torque here? 846. Oh man, so that's the best you've ever had this motor running, eh?
You put it in the tow haul, in the hauling truck.
Be a hell of a hauler. Look at the size of this thing. Oh, so nice. Yeah, there's washers there though. That's a good idea. There you go.
Good, clear.
Yep, so that's 1350 coming off. How's this guy, Pete?
That's a 1450, I believe.
1450.
I'll have to get my book out and look, but more in the fray here, so.
This is nice. Okay guys, let's go ahead and walk you through this entire engine, tell you exactly what it is. It is 557 cubic inches. It has a 4,500 bore. It's a 4,375 stroke and a 7.1 rod. It's a World aluminum block. It has a Hughes CNC Edelbrock Victor head on it. So those are the Victor 440 heads, but they are CNC ported. 60 millimeter cam. It's a custom big solid roller. The engine is 15.3 to 1 compression. T&D rockers on the top, and then that really nice intake you're seeing there is that Indy intake that is also ported. That's the Indy 3X, and that their final carb was that 1450 model. Absolute beast. A couple other nice little things on this engine as well. Nice electric pumps, of course. There's a crank trigger system and a vacuum pump to keep it all sealed up. But this thing was absolute riot on the dyno. Amazing to see. Okay, so we're ready for our second pull now. Pete wanted to clean up the mid-range, so we went and messed with the air bleeds on the top. So seeing if we can get this thing up a little bit more. It made 982 on that first one. Ready for the second one now. Here's our final numbers, guys. Absolutely astounding. At 6,700 RPM, 1,009 horsepower, naturally aspirated, 860 foot-pounds of torque at 5,500 RPM. Oh, look, it's 861 at 54. Absolutely phenomenal. It's completely off the chart. Naturally aspirated, big block Mopar, making 1,009 horsepower. That was absolutely crazy. We just saw this big block Mopar make 1,000 horsepower, naturally aspirated, 861 foot-pounds of torque out of this thing. Ran so clean the whole day. That bigger carb, that 1450, did get it to where Pete wanted it, which was 1,000 horsepower, naturally aspirated. Unreal day here today. You just learn so much every time you come out here. And do remember to subscribe, because we're going to get Pete to get us onto this Hemi dyno session next. Great day out here. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next time.